Shalom Aleichem, and welcome to the lovely base medrash Besimcha. Today we'll be studying the beautiful teachings of the Kli Yakar, Rav Ephraim Shlomo Lunchitz. Actually, his name is Ephraim Lunchitz, but he writes in his introduction that he got sick and he took on the name Shlomo, and who was a great rabbi. He was actually appointed to be the Maharal of Prague's successor. The last words of Maharal Prague's life go find the Kli Yakar, Ephraim Lunchitz, and he will be my replacement. Um, and we're going to be studying some of his beautiful teachings in Parshat Vayera, which will be our practice this year. Every time I'm learning him, I'm more deeply impressed and connected by the beautiful teachings. Hope you will be too. We'll take some of the nuggets, some of the highlights. You should definitely see it yourself if you have a chance. And of course, we'll dedicate our Torah study to the protection of the entire Jewish people. All of our Chayalim should come back home. All the Chatufim should come back home soon. Let's do it. Perak Yudches, Pasuk Aleph. Vayera elav Hashem be'elonei mamre. So, God appeared to him by the trees of Mamre. Now, it's the beginning of the Torah portion, so we would have expected it to say Vayera el Abraham. Why does it say Vayera elav? We can figure out that God's talking to Abraham, but the Kli Yakar is bothered. Why doesn't it just say Vayera and Hashem appeared to Abraham? Lo nemar Vayera Hashem el Abraham. Lefi sheshmo v'atzmuto hayu shnei hafashim. Because Avram's name and Avram's essence were two opposites. Ki shemo Abraham al shem av hamon goyim more al hashrara va'isnasus. The name Abraham is a name which has a connotation of highness. We'll get to what that means in a moment. Va'atzmuta haya anav mikol. But Abraham's essence, his most essential characteristic, is that he was the most humble of all. Hikein more mashenemar va'nochi afar ve'efer. As we know later in Pasuk Chav Zayin, Abraham says, "In dust and ashes, I'm nothing." He's completely humbled himself for Hashem. So God didn't want you to get confused and think that God only appears upon someone who's known as being great. And that's what we would have assumed if we would have just said God appeared to Abraham. God didn't appear to him because Abraham stands for him being the father of all of the nations. Rather, because of his essence, his essential characteristic. Again, so the name Abraham has this connotation of, wow, he's the greatest father of all the nations. But don't think that God only appears to those who have a great name. He was very humble, low, didn't make a big deal about himself. In Shabbos, Tzaddik Beit Amid Olive teaches God only falls upon someone who's wise, strong, rich, and humble. In fact, there are many Gemaras supporting such a concept that the main thing if you want God's presence in your life is to be humble. Lekach ne'emar vayere alav. And that's why it says, and God appeared to him. B'shvil atzmuto hamora al anova. Because of his essence, his essential humble characteristics. So, beautiful idea. Sometimes people might think that, God only appears upon the big people, the presidents and the big the tzaddikim, giving drushes to thousands of people. But the truth is, Kli Yakar is reminding us that God dwells upon those who make space for him through their humility, and that's exactly where God can be found. Derech Agav, I'll just mention since it's Rosh Shlomo Carlebach's yard site this Shabbos, he too asked this question. Maybe, hopefully, I'll have time to give a whole separate or Shlomo on the Parsha here. And he answers that when you call someone's name, you say Kalman, then it implies that Kalman's far from you. But if you call someone, hey, you, it means it's very close. So maybe putting Rosh Shlomo and the Kli Yakar together, they're both Shlomos, because of his humility, Hashem felt so close to Avram Avinu, and that's why he revealed himself to him in our story. Beautiful teaching. Let's do another Kli Yakar, another highlight on the Parsha. So Avram tells in Pasuk Dalid, Yukachna me'at mayim. Take a little bit of water. Take some water, and he washes off the feet of these men. Later we find out they're angels. The Kli Yakar says like this: why did Avram only take a little bit of water? Why not take a lot of water? Yoter karov lishma shelo ratza liten mipita lebilti agunim. He didn't want to give his pito, his bread, to these undeserving people. Yishema arvim ema. Maybe they're just Bedouins, Arabs in the desert. Ken ratza lachzirim b'tshuva. So he wanted to bring them to do tshuva. Adeshi asiru Elohei anechar mikirbam. Get rid of the idolatrous forces. Ki avodag gilulim bebito kol duhu sagi. When you nullify it, even with a little bit of water, the bittul gets rid of them. Lekach nemer me'at mayim. That's why it says take a little water. Nemer yukach aide achar mashma ki afi mesir abed nabakach in emun nifsas pul beliban. Entire salevu davar she'in biyado shel Avram. To purify their heart, that's something that Avram couldn't do. They would have to do even a little act of bittul. Just take a little bit of water and you do the act of purifying your feet. In other words, he couldn't pour the water on them. They had to take the action, even a little bit of action of nullifying being their and that's why they take the water. They have to do it, and not Yaakov Avinu. I mean, not Avram Avinu. And that's why Avram tells him, go under the tree. It should have said under the in the tree. Be in the shade of a Kadosh Baruch Hu. Be in the shade of God Himself. My little guy is acting up here. In any case, so Avram wants to bring them into the tzil, like the beautiful trees around us, of Hashem. But in order for this to happen, uh, he needs he needs them to be active. Even one act is going to make a big difference. So it's a big teaching for us. We want to do tshuva. Obviously, it's good to just listen to the shir and have the rabbi inspire us. We need to do an action, even if it's any small action, a small action. Just clicking the click button for the shir and not for the other silliness on YouTube. And that is what's already going to bring us back to doing tshuva. That's teaching number 2 of the Halaga Kli Yakar. Okay, teaching number 3. So the angels say, Shova Shova Lecha. After they give the bracha to Avram Avinu that he's going to have a child, they say, we're going to come back. Shova Shova Lecha. We're going to go to you, Dafka. And when do they come back? Let's go on, I'll say outside. It's an astounding, a brilliant, beautiful Torah. It says, when do the angels actually come back? We don't see when they come back. They came back to see Yitzchak, not at his bris milah, but right before Avram was about to shecht Yitzchak. Those same angels came back to save his life. They screamed, Avram, Avram, don't touch the boy. So they promised they'd be back just in the nick of time. The Kli Yakar says they came back. Chaya to bring life back to Yitzchak Avinu. Unbelievable Kiddush. Torah number 4 of the Kli Yakar. So the pasuk Tess says, Avram asks, Aye Sarah Ishtacha. Where is Sarah, your wife? Perish Rashi. The angels are trying to inform Avram Avinu about how she's in the tent. She's such a tsanua, such a modest woman. What a praise. Kli Yakar says, Libi Omer, Sheshelet Ayeh. There's dots on the Ayeh. So what does it really mean, Ayeh? Ayo, Eno Shela Mekomit. It's not saying where are they physically. Omar Efo who he, where is he or she? Ela Shelat Madrigot. Rather, it's a question of levels. Like if you go back to the Garden of Eden, Ayeka, similar. So in other words, the angels are asking, in what schus is Saramina going to have a child? And for what level? In the schus of her tznius. In what schus is Abraham going to have a child? Oh hell. Zeu madregator shel Abraham shalishe petach oil, because he sat by the oil, spot al and he was waiting for the guests. The taminu mit asek liot noite ale apando lorachin is always looking to open up his tent for guests. Moshe Ne'emar vayita eshel, and it says, and he planted an eshel, a little hotel. So the close of his he's always looking for a for his guests, um, that he is zeicha to have this child because of Sarah's things, and that's what the angels are pointing out when they ask, "Where is Sarah? Ayo, Aya, Ayo." Maybe that's why Matsuya always says Ayo yo yo. All right, do we want to do one more? One more? Call it a day. When we get to the story of Stone, we have the 50, 40, 30, 20, 10 arguing, where Yaakov is bargaining with the Kadosh Baruch Hu. But it's interesting, it doesn't go straight from 50 to 40, it goes from 50 to 45. Why 45? What's that all about? So Rashi is his parish. Kli Yakar is not afraid to sometimes disagree with Rashi. And he gives a very interesting, I thought brilliant shot. Avram is trying to save 5 different cities. And he knows that the key to saving the city is to have 10 tzaddikim. So first he says, save all 10, all 5, and by having 50, 10 for each city. And then he says, save all 5 by having 45. Which Hashem says, okay. Why 45? Because we have a concept that as long as we started with 10 by a minion, if one leaves, the minion still counts. And also we have this concept by a katan. If you have 9 and a katan, maybe you can start if you can join be the 10th man and minion. So Abraham's telling Hashem, maybe 45, you could also save all 5. And God says, fine, deal. Since they started with 10, and then even that we don't have. 40, fine. When you're saying 40, at least say 4 cities, 33 cities, 22 cities, and 10, one city. Derech Agav, Rabbi Imu Shalev, and Rabbi Foreman suggest that God actually said yes to 10, and those 10 were Lot and his family, which was, if you counted up, 10 people. If Lot just could have gotten together 10 people, then he could have saved his city, but he wasn't even able to get those 10 people. So maybe from here we're learning the concept of minion. Anyway, a brilliant Torah of the Kli Yakar. I want to squeeze one more in. Let's squeeze one more in. Sorry, guys, it's just too good to leave you hanging, but you should see them all inside. So many beautiful Torahs. Lech lecha el aretz Moriah. Kli Yakar says, go into the land of Moriah. Hizkir lech lecha hainu al etzmotcha. Go to your essence. Because go to the land of Hara Moriah to do the Akedah, because that is where the Chomer, the content of man is taken. Mizbech Adama Taseli, Mizbech is taken from that place. So what's Moriah? Sham Makom Evan Shtia. That is the place. Sorry, that is the place of the foundation stone. Asher Imenu Shtatu Shnei Olamot and Rubishal B'Shem Ka. From that place in Har Moriah, from the Beit HaMikdash, the 2 worlds, both this and the next world, was created with the name Yud K. That's where the gateway of the heavens are. And there is the zivug between Hashem and the Jewish people. Like a husband and wife. Wow. Powerful mystical words to Kli Yakar. And like we have by a husband and wife, refers to that relationship. There's 15 steps going to that place. And there would be 15 levels, just freeing my kid Alicia, who's trapped, 15 levels up to the Beit HaMikdash. Okay, I think that's my sign that we should call it here. There's still a lot more Kli Yakar to learn on this week's Parsha, and I hope you enjoyed this, and we'll learn more next year. Should have a beautiful Shabbos Kodesh.